My name is Elara Whitmore. And the day my mother's will was read, I learned that she had left everything to my siblings. Heartbreak balance scale. The house, the savings, the investments, every single thing. Not $1 for me. Not one keepsake. Not even a letter. I sat there fighting tears while my brother and sister smiled across the table. After everything I had done for Mom, I was erased. Then the lawyer reached beneath his desk and pulled out a sealed envelope. And suddenly, everyone in the room stopped smiling. My name is Elara Whitmore. I grew up in a small town outside Nashville, Tennessee. My family looked perfect from the outside. A hardworking mother, 3 children, a comfortable home, a respectable life. But behind closed doors, things were very different. My older brother, Grant Whitmore, was the golden child. Athletic, popular, confident. Everything came easy for him. My younger sister, Lydia Whitmore, was Mom's princess. She could do no wrong. No matter what happened, Mom always found a reason to defend her. And then there was me. The responsible one, the dependable one, the invisible one. Whenever something needed doing, I did it. Whenever someone needed help, I helped. Yet somehow, nobody noticed. As years passed, the pattern continued. Grant moved across the country. Lydia traveled constantly. Meanwhile, I stayed close to Mom. Not because I expected anything. Because I loved her. When she got sick, I drove her to appointments. When she needed groceries, I delivered them. When she couldn't clean the house, I cleaned it. For 6 years I rearranged my life around her care. I never complained. Never asked for money. Never asked for recognition. I believed family was supposed to help family. Unfortunately, not everyone shared that belief. Grant rarely visited. Lydia called occasionally. But somehow they always received praise. Mom constantly bragged about them. Meanwhile I handled the difficult work. Sometimes it hurt. But I ignored it. Because Mom mattered more than my feelings. Then came the diagnosis. Stage 4 cancer. The doctors tried everything. Treatments. Experimental options. Specialists. Nothing worked. The final year was heartbreaking. I spent countless nights sleeping in hospital chairs. Holding Mom's hand. Listening to machines beep in dark rooms. During those months, Grant visited twice. Lydia visited 3 times. Yet somehow Mom still spoke about them constantly. Part of me hoped she noticed everything I did. Part of me hoped she understood. But she never said much. Then she died. And suddenly the house felt empty. The silence was unbearable. The funeral happened a week later. Hundreds attended. Friends, neighbors, former coworkers. Everyone praised Mom's kindness. Everyone spoke about family. Meanwhile my siblings acted strangely confident. Especially Grant. Almost excited. At first I blamed grief. Then the will reading arrived. And everything became clear. We gathered in the office of attorney Silas Bennett. A quiet man who had handled Mom's affairs for years. The atmosphere felt tense. Grant sat with a smug expression. Lydia looked equally confident. I felt nervous. Not about money. About closure. I wanted understanding. Some sign that Mom appreciated our time together. Silas opened the file. And began reading. Specific gifts came first. Jewelry. Artwork. Savings accounts. Then larger assets. The family house went to Grant. Several investment accounts went to Lydia. Vacation property. Retirement funds. Everything. One by one. Asset after asset. My name never appeared. Not once. The room felt colder with every sentence. My chest tightened. My eyes burned. Surely something was missing. Surely there was a mistake. But the reading ended. And I received nothing. Absolutely nothing. Grant looked satisfied. Lydia avoided eye contact. I felt humiliated. Destroyed. Heartbroken. Not because of money. Because after years of sacrifice, it felt like Mom hadn't valued me at all. I stood up to leave. Then Silas spoke. Miss Whitmore, please remain seated. The room froze. Silas reached into a locked drawer. Pulled out a sealed envelope. And placed it on the table. My name was written across the front. In Mom's handwriting. The sight instantly brought tears to my eyes. Silas explained. The envelope could only be opened after the will reading concluded. No exceptions. No witnesses excluded. Everyone had to stay. Grant suddenly looked nervous. Lydia stopped smiling. Silas broke the seal. Inside was a handwritten letter. And another document. Then another. And another. The first letter began, "If you're hearing this, Elara, then I need you to know something." My hands shook. Silas continued reading. "I know what everyone believes. I know what this will appears to say." The room became silent. Then came the sentence that changed everything. The inheritance was never the test. Nobody understood. Not yet. Then Silas revealed the second document. A trust agreement. One none of us knew existed. Years earlier, Mom had quietly created a private trust separate from the estate. A very large trust. Larger than the inheritance everyone had just celebrated. The trust contained business holdings, commercial properties, investment portfolios, life insurance proceeds. Its value exceeded everything distributed through the public will. Combined. The room gasped. Grant nearly dropped his water glass. Lydia looked pale. Then Silas continued. Mom's letter explained everything. For years she worried that money would reveal people's true character. So she designed a final test. The public will intentionally favored Grant and Lydia. She wanted seeing how they behaved afterward. Whether they shared. Whether they supported family. Whether they treated me fairly. Apparently Mom anticipated problems. And she was right. Because immediately after the reading, before the envelope opened, Grant and Lydia had already started discussing selling assets. Neither mentioned me. Neither offered help. Neither expressed gratitude. The lawyer had recorded everything. Legally. At Mom's request. The evidence became part of the evaluation. Then came the biggest shock. The trust had conditions. Strict conditions. Beneficiaries needed demonstrating integrity, compassion, and fairness. Any evidence of greed could trigger disqualification. Guess who failed? Both siblings. Instantly. The room exploded. Grant accused the lawyer of manipulation. Lydia demanded explanations. Neither received sympathy. Because Mom had documented years of behavior. Missed visits. Ignored calls. Broken promises. Unpaid loans. Everything. The records were overwhelming. Then Silas opened the final letter. Mom addressed me directly. Elara, for years you believed I didn't notice. Tears streamed down my face. But I noticed everything. I couldn't breathe. The letter continued. I noticed every hospital visit. Every grocery trip. Every sacrifice. Every time you chose me when nobody else did. By now everyone in the room was crying. Even Silas struggled reading. Then came the final revelation. Mom had named me sole trustee. Sole decision maker. Sole controller. The entire trust transferred to me. Not Grant. Not Lydia. Me. The value exceeded $20 million. I sat there speechless. The money didn't matter. The recognition did. For the first time in my life. I felt seen. Then Silas handed me a small velvet box. Inside was Mom's wedding ring. The one possession she treasured most. Attached was a note. This was always yours. I broke down completely. Not because I inherited wealth. Because Mom finally said what I needed hearing. That I mattered. Months later, life changed dramatically. The trust funded scholarships, community programs, cancer support initiatives, things Mom cared about. Meanwhile Grant and Lydia struggled accepting reality. At first they blamed me. Then they blamed the lawyer. Eventually they confronted the truth. Their own choices caused everything. A year later, both apologized. Genuinely. Not for money. For years of neglect. For taking family for granted. Healing took time. But it happened. Because despite everything, Mom left us one final gift. Perspective. The realization that love isn't measured by what someone leaves behind. It's measured by what they notice while they're alive. And in the end, Mom noticed everything. The people who quietly show up every day are often the ones making the biggest sacrifices. Love may go unnoticed for a while, but genuine character is eventually revealed. Never underestimate the value of kindness, loyalty, and consistency. If this story touched your heart, thumbs up, like this video. Bell, subscribe for more emotional family drama stories. Speech balloon, comment below. What would you do if your parents left everything to your siblings, only for a sealed envelope to reveal the truth? Crying heart, break, outgoing male, balance scale.